We're live. Welcome to the Mark Atwood Show. I can't sing. I don't know why I'm doing that. Look, I just got a candle. Look, destroy all evil. That's good, isn't it? Right. Today, you know how three people who've never actually physically met before just start riffing, and then one emails the other and says, "Let's do a show next week." And you go, "Yeah, that's a good idea." And then the other, and you chat to the other one, and you go, "Oh, we're doing a show. Oh, I love him. Let's go." And suddenly, there's three of us. Hello, Galactic Greg. JCK.
Your cleaner's in the background.
Yeah, I was like, am I seeing that right now, or is that a spirit?
What's she doing?
Oh, I've been ready to tell you, move the camera away from the door in case someone goes,
this is not so comfy here.
That's right. No, that looks great. It looks awesome.
Exciting. Anyway, we're always
fabulous.
And it's all backwards as well. There you go. Look, we're always
yeah.
Hello.
We get to see that.
Hello, I'm seeing the same people in the chat as we saw last night.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Good.
All your regulars.
Hello. Hi, Mickey Flynn. How are you? Hi, Mel Starr. Hi, Louise Callahan. Louise was on my show. Scottish lady. You remember Scottish lady?
Ah, great. Nova
Is
Scotia.
it? Hang on, maybe I'm wrong. No, Nova Scotia. Sorry. Wrong Callahan. I had a Callahan on.
Wrong Scotland.
Yeah, wrong Scotland.
This is weird. Before we went live, Greg said he's just had a healing from Harms, right? He's in Australia. Yes. Viewers of JCK will know Harms. And I went, how weird, look, this is Harms's. And then JC's got one.
Yeah.
Harms is watching.
Where's yours, Greg?
I know, I need to get one.
Yeah,
I don't drink coffee, though. I love the smell. I can't
This is
stand
water. This is water.
I'm drinking
You
coffee.
don't drink.
No, it's
I'm
water.
drinking coffee. You gotta go to my coffee talk on usually Sunday.
We've got a real one. Here. We don't need your fake accent.
No, he's in New Jersey. Hey, listen, I've had people from Long Island email me saying you did the best Long Island accent.
Yeah,
I'm a Long Island girl. Yeah.
I did a play in 1994.
I've heard every story of yours,
Called The Zoo Story by Edward Albee, and I played Jerry, and people were in the bar afterwards going, "Whereabouts in New York are you from?" So,
yeah,
I know the story. So,
Jerry, it's all about the dog. Anyway, we're going to talk about. Me and Greg were going to have a chat and do some poetry and get all down with the bros, and then JC butted in for her second threesome in 2 days, which I think is a bit cheap. But, she's got some interesting things to say, I suppose.
No, I just was like, oh, I love Greg. I have to do a show with him. And then you're like, come on the show. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't intrude. I get invited.
Of course you're welcome. Of course you're welcome.
I get invited.
And so then JC rings about half an hour before and she says, I'm going to talk about spiritual alchemy. And I was like, yeah, because you introduced me to this radio show the other day. We just dive in with this, right? And I went and listened to it and I was like, guys, it's amazing. It's like Crow 777 and it was
Crow 777.
It was the great grandnephew of Saint Germain, right?
So it's episode number 352 for anyone who's interested. Yeah. Episode 352 on Crow 777's channel. I would highly recommend you go and listen. And then, I went and paid for a subscription so I can hear the whole thing because it was fucking amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Greg, what do you know about spiritual alchemy?
Well, I haven't divulged too deep into it. It's one of the things that I've come across along my ascension journey, but haven't really given it too much thought. I know of its existence. I know that we are all alchemists internally. We are many things internally. We are powerful beings. And I do know of the transmission of chemicals to gold and all of those things. So I do believe that the alchemy within us is essentially the door opening for our Christed light to come through, the golden Christed light to come through. That is our own internal alchemy. And that is what we're working on right now.
Someone's asking.
But I would love to get, because JC messaged me this morning on this, and this is something I definitely love to get into.
This
Well,
is
you know,
amazing.
Sorry, Diane.
No, sorry, you go.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, most people hear of the word alchemy and they think, like Greg just said, like lead to gold, and it's all about money. And we've all grown up with that kind of picture of it. I remember that episode of Blackadder in Blackadder 2, and he's trying to create gold, and a person comes in and he says, "What have you created?" He goes, "I've created the purest green, my lord." Our culture that it's just about like making money, but when JC, I went and listened to that show. No, I haven't listened to the second half yet. He's amazing.
So let me explain. Can I explain to everyone about this particular episode? So someone in the chat was asking which episode of Crow 777. So go subscribe to YouTube. That he's got his own radio podcast with Jason Lindgren, and Crow is there's number 352. So Crow and initially began as a guy who just had a hobby filming the moon. So he was filming, you know, astrological. Astronomy.
How much have you had?
He was filming the moon and he caught a ripple in his recording, okay, which suggested that the moon was a hologram, and he dove into that. Then he started a podcast, and this is a guy who just knows about everything, right? And Crow is amazing. So he's got a really big following. Most of his shows, he'll do the first half for free, depending on the content, and the second half he'll put on his radio podcast on his website. So this particular one I happened to catch, which was about Saint-Germain, or Saint-Germain, as people say. And there's so much false stories about Saint-Germain, but most people know him as an alchemist. They know that he lived for many, many years, more than 100 years, that he was around the time of Louis XV, around the French Revolution as well. And
alive, don't they?
What was that? Yeah, some people think he's still alive and walking the earth. So he was born 1691 and died supposedly, or left the earth, 1812. So that's a good, good 121 years of life. And he was an alchemist. Now, Crow called out for, because he's always been interested in alchemy, called out, if anyone knows anything about alchemy, to come on the show. Well, one of his big fans was a great nephew of the Comte Saint-Germain. Okay, so this guy legitimately is an alchemist, and he is named after his great whatever uncle. So his name is Fortune Germain. And they are a French family, very illustrious family. And he goes into this episode and he starts explaining what alchemy is. And it really will change the whole perception about what it truly is. It's not about riches. It's not about becoming wealthy in the material sense. And in fact, it's all about transmuting your energy, really, so that you become, I mean, you know, I'm not really explaining this very well, but one of the things where he was talking about turning lead to gold is a big misnomer. It's actually about turning a leadened state, so your solar plexus, which is right here in your stomach, and it's yellow, that's supposed to be gold, golden light, and it's about clearing that and changing that state of leaden state into gold or joy, okay? And he said that every person, every human being's natural right, no matter what they did in the past lives, no matter what karma they've accumulated, every single birthright of every soul is to have joy, love, and success. And he goes on to explain alchemy. Essentially, it's pretty much what we're doing all the time, which is transmuting particular energies into joy or better, you know, so that you can live a better life. But and he talks a lot about heart chakra. He talks about a lot about breathing color, which is something I was so struck by. This is why I wanted to do this show, because he gives you lots and lots of exercises to do to cancel and clear a lot of stuff and to not partake in the negativity that's going on in the world, to bring joy into your body and to change your situations in terms of what's going on around you. And it's just a fascinating episode. So that's number 352. And what was the other thing he said? He said something about it's just, look, I took copious notes, okay? And I don't want to I want people to go and watch it because it's amazing. And in the second half of the show, I think you guys should go and log on and subscribe to this. But
yeah,
there is a little exercise that I wrote down, and I was like, I've got to share this with you guys because this is amazing. This is all about changing the negativity. And Fortune Germain, the guy that he was interviewing, was explaining how right now on this earth, and this guy knows a lot about what's going on in the world and about all the truth that is hidden, because he actually inherited all of Saint Germain's stuff. Okay, so he's got a diamond that's blue, he's got a philosopher's stone, he's got all of these things, all of these books and things that he's inherited, and he was sharing that with the audience. So one of the things he was saying is that everything that's happening in the world right now, there is a dark spell that's been put on the earth, and that the more energy we're putting into the negativity, the bigger this spell and the stronger this spell is getting. And that leads me to why I keep telling people, stop looking at all the fearful stuff, okay? But this little exercise that I wrote down, I think everyone should do and should use, because this is all about transmuting doubt, darkness, fear, and death, and thoughts of that and turning it into joy. So that's what I wanted to do today.
Great.
But we don't have to. I'm talking too much, sorry.
No, that's a lot. That's a lot to explain.
It's a lot to explain.
Yeah.
Well, it is. I mean, we're definitely going to do the exercise.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just wondering if there's more we can explain about Saint Germain being ascended master. What I found interesting was that I can't remember his name, Fortune. He got given this stuff by his grandfather, and I was like, what? Was this stuff locked away in an attic for hundreds of years? What, it's quite strange that it appeared to him, and then he went on.
It almost felt like the whole family. He said that he knew, because Crow was trying to find out. He's like, how did you get trained? Were you trained as an alchemist? And it was almost as if, because he came from a very wealthy or well-to-do family, they learned the history of their family, because they were all noblemen, they were all heads of state and things like that in France. And they not only were for the empire, they not only stayed as counts for Napoleon, they were even pre-revolution. The whole family, and their names on Arc de Triomphe and everything. Okay, well, so the whole family, they were all part of it. So this family is very illustrious, and I think one of the things, the reason why I don't want to do all the talking here, but one of the things that I found interesting in this episode was that all of those old, I don't know if any of you have watched Outlander, if anyone in the audience has watched Outlander, and it was about that time travel thing where she goes to Scotland and then she goes back in time. The one where they were shagging.
Yeah. So she made me watch, I love time travel shows. Right? She made me watch. I was like, even I was shocked. It was like,
I said, Mark, you're going to watch Outlander. And he's like, what's this? Yeah, so in one of those series, one of the seasons of Outlander, she meets Saint Germain, okay, but they completely made him out to be this fop that is just into materialism and things like that. And this was one of the things that his nephew, his great nephew, was saying. Yes, he did used to wear jewels, and he used to go to these, because it was the age of enlightenment. So they'd go to these dinners with all of these people and discuss philosophy and things. But what he was trying to do with all the noble people was explain that you don't need to take money from the poor. If you adapt what I'm showing you, like in terms of alchemy, you won't need to do that. You can manifest this stuff if you allow these principles.
Listen to him, and then
internal abundance.
I didn't listen to him, and he was very much. And one thing that I was very happy to learn about with this alchemy and spiritual alchemy is that it's all about actually giving and being generous to others. So when you receive abundance from the universe, you must always give back. And that was part of every single exercise that they do. Yeah. And it's about that flow of energy.
Yeah.
That's the self-perpetuating Taurus energy that we've currently got blocked as a race.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And another thing, I just loved it. Honestly, I took so many notes, but one thing, the last sort of bit, after he explained this exercise, which if you're listening now and you want to stick around for this exercise, because this, seriously, you need to, if you just keep this video as a saved video and keep doing this exercise. It's called the Eternal Youth exercise. So what he does is he shows you, but please go to that episode, because I don't want to take any subscribers away from Crow. Go to Crow 777 and go to his channel and find number 352 episode and pay for the second half to get all of this information. But it's called the Eternal Youth exercise, and I'm going to take you guys through it.
Do we have to lie down, get prepared, stand up?
Okay.
You can do it with intention. It's all about intention. Doesn't matter where you are. But what he was explaining is it's how you're transmuting the darkness. So we've got darkness all around us all the time, right? We've got all this. We're often bombarded, and even if we try our hardest, we're still going to see these horrible, despairing, frightful images every day, right? With the news stories and things like that, and we're just overwhelmed by all of this. Well, he's explaining how to transmute that and actually use it and transmute it into youthful energy, okay? So that actually reverses the aging process when you're doing this. And he was explaining, they were talking about the current situation in the world, and Fortune says that darkness actually has no energy. This is why it's vampiric. This is why the devil is vampiric. He said this whole thing only has the energy, as in COVID, only has the energy that everyone has been putting into it. When everyone says no, it collapses in on itself. So what you all need to understand, for all of you who watch this channel and my channel and Greg's channel who are watching this video right now, you keep putting your energy into the negative stories and you keep sharing those negative stories with your friends and family, you are allowing this spell to continue that is going on in this world. This is why I have shifted my focus away from all of that. I do not partake in any of that. People come to me and say, JC, did you hear about this story? And I said, that's not part of my world. Now, I'm not doing this. I'm literally like, I don't participate in that. And he actually explains to you in this interview how to not participate. You have a choice. He says, as a soul, you have a choice as to whether or wish you want to partake in that as your karmic lesson or not. And there's a way to do that, to disconnect from these things. And that includes the jab injuring you, getting sick, all of that. You do not need to participate in that, and you can disconnect consciously and take your power back. That's why this episode is really important. And he said that every single human being on the planet is an alchemist, but this knowledge has been taken away from you. So this is why, if you can go, honestly, this is probably one of the best episodes I've ever listened to. And he said, listen to this, that the dark, because Crow asked him, do they know this power? Have they been using this? Do Freemasons use this energy? You know, these things the alchemists know. He said, well, they're not using universal energy for a divine purpose. They don't believe it. So they need to steal their energy.
Yeah.
That is where vampirism comes in. Okay. And he said that youthfulness is equated to eternal joyfulness. Okay. So joy is one of the biggest things that gives you youth. And what they're trying to strip from us right now is our joy. right? All our joy and our playfulness. So this is going to give you back your joy and your youthfulness. And you can actually, if you're going to listen to this and do this at home, pick an age in your head that you like, or in general, we could talk about just getting infinitely younger in this particular exercise. But this is essentially something that everyone can do, where you're going to transmute doubt, darkness, fear, and death into eternal youthfulness. Okay? Do you want to do it?
I do.
Yeah. Have it.
Okay.
I am
Okay.
game.
So if you're listening right now, so they begin every exercise with the statement, "Let there be light." This is what the alchemists do. Okay. So this is on episode number 352 of Crow 777, Crow 777's channel. On the 19th of September, it was recorded. So go there and find this. And he's got many, many more exercises that he explains. Okay. So if you're listening to this recording, close your eyes and just be centered in yourself. We're going to be doing some visualization of different colors. So I'm going to take you through it. So I'll begin with this. Let there be light. So I want you to repeat after me, Greg and Mark. I take into my heart.
I take into my heart
Doubt, darkness, fear, and death.
Doubt, darkness, fear, and death.
Now, these are just energies that are out of tune, and all alchemists, they don't fear energies. They know it is out of tune and it just needs tuning. Okay, so we're going to take these into your heart. We take negative energy into our heart and we blow them up with a violet fire. So I want you to picture these energies of doubt, darkness, fear, and death, and blow them up in a violet fire in your heart and say, I am forgiving.
I am forgiving.
I am forgiving.
I am transforming.
I am transforming.
I am releasing.
I am releasing.
And now I want you to breathe in the colors, violet and gold and red. Now what you're going to do is you're going to visualize red coming up from your feet through your root chakra, and violet coming down from your crown chakra, and they're going to mix in your heart with gold. Violet, gold, and red swirling in your heart. And now you say, heaven and earth are one and the same.
Heaven and earth are one and the same.
I am divine youth, joy, and beauty.
I am divine youth, joy, and beauty.
Now breathe in that energy as you say it, okay? So breathe in youth, joy, and beauty as you're saying this. And keep visualizing those colors of violet and gold and red swirling in your heart. And now you say, I grow infinitely younger in divine selfless service.
I grow infinitely
younger in divine selfless service.
Now, this energy that's swirling around in your heart, take that and visualize that swirling throughout your whole entire being. The gold, the violet, and the red. Imagine it going throughout your whole body. And then breathe it out of your heart chakra. Imagine those colors being breathed out of your heart chakra. And bless Mother Earth and all of humanity as you do that. So when you've finished seeing that, being blessed upon all of humanity and Mother Earth, you say, thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
That's it. Isn't that amazing? That is alchemy, basically. Well, that's spiritual alchemy. There's different types of alchemy. That's spiritual alchemy. And you can do that anytime you see negativity. Now, he says every day you should be actually clearing your solar plexus in particular, clearing any darkness from it.
This is interesting.
Yeah. So
because Right, little broadcasting tip: when you're working with JC, don't leave a gap.
No, it is a delay because of what? This is interesting because
I've been doing this dimensional work with Farah.
Yeah.
Very recently, and yesterday you start with the chakras, and you can see the colors, but in the solar plexus, I couldn't see the yellow, and they saw a big belt around me that was blocking it.
Ooh.
And I was like, see the color? I was like, no, and it was the solar plexus. That's never happened to me before.
No.
Very strong in this area, but here in the middle.
And that's what he says. Most of people are strong up here, but down below they're not.
Yeah. Well, that's where our core of our energy, resides.
It's a power center. So solar plexus is power. Yeah. So but it's also joy.
Yeah. So it would be the most targeted, obviously. So
what did you clear it, Mark?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And then I went on a dragon and did a load of chopping up AI spider type stuff. It's what I do in the evenings, It's better than TV.
I know. I had some awesome. Somebody called it Galactic Gregorio. What was that?
You're having a grand old time over there, Mark.
Yeah, well, I think it's very important to do that. Keep yourself busy and keep working.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the work that a lot of us are doing when we're not on YouTube or we're not working or we're not bringing up kids.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are doing this subconsciously. But the more aware you get of these things like belts over your solar plexus and how to get rid of them.
And don't fall asleep during the session.
Yeah, that's the other problem.
Oh, yeah.
I do tend to fall asleep in healing.
It still happens. You still get healed.
Yeah, you're just...
I don't know, they were pretty cross with me. Yeah, stop falling asleep. I was like, okay. It's normally like this. It's like I'm a balloon, and they're going, come down from the 14th dimension. I'm like, no, I like it here. This was a big clearing yesterday.
But that's all. That let me explain to everyone, because when Farah was doing me, which was doing my thing, which was going in my body and clearing, my sacral chakra was really black. I couldn't see that, but the rest of them were okay. But that one needed clearing. But yeah, it was a real scrubbing of that. Now that's to do with creativity and manifesting and things like that. So you really need to consciously. So your chakra points throughout your body. Just think of it. It's a rainbow, basically. Okay, but they are important. There is the concept that there was an overlay put over our chakra system, and then that was a control thing. Now that's something you can remove or choose to remove, and do not consent to any control, interfering with your chakras. But the actual chakra points in your body will never leave. Okay, they're physical vortexes in your body. But if you go through them and clear them regularly, just in your mind's eye, and imagine each of the colors, and just imagine clearing them and scrubbing them and really clearing them. But that's the turning the lead into gold.
Yeah.
I've got a question. Can I go to the toilet now? About a year ago, you talked about, and I'm saying this because there may be comments, you talked about not having your chakras.
No, I literally just explained that. I said I said some people say there's an overlay.
Yeah.
Right, so that's the interference thing. So your chakra points will never disappear, but some say it's the Anunnaki or whatever, reptilians or whatever, put an overlay over our chakra system, almost like a control panel, so that they could get in and get out very easily. And it's been sort of this concept of removing your chakra system. Now, you're not removing the chakras, You're removing the overlay that archons or archonic energy entities could interfere with. But when you're not consenting anyway, all of that it's like an implant. Basically, that's what the concept is that it's like an implant being placed over. So it's like, imagine having an implant behind your eyes and they're using your eyes. It's like that. And you're removing that.
I've been I've had hundreds of healings in the last couple of years, and when I first started doing this stuff and people were talking about chakras about, I don't know, 7 years ago, I was like this, chakras.
Yeah.
But recently I've got portals in my spleen. I've got,
liver.
And you realize all this interdimensional stuff, like all these gifts taken away from us multidimensionally over eons. Time doesn't exist. It's all happening. And we really have to, this exercise is fantastic that you shared today, because everybody should really get, if they're not already, should at least be exploring this stuff. And I'm saying this as an ordinary bloke, in case there's any ordinary blokes or women watching who like not so sure about it, because it's it's the kind of thing. If I talk to my kids about it, they snigger, or some, not all of them, but some of them snigger and go, yeah, you can't see this stuff, it's not real, but it's bloody real.
It depends on how you introduce the concept to people.
I was asking that question to Greg because he's hardly spoken.
Well, no, I mean, all this stuff is considered to be, and I discuss this a lot on my shows too, a lot of the spiritual woohoo stuff, so to speak, you really do have to present it in kind of with kid gloves almost to a lot of people, because there's so many constructs of the church and of, basic religion, right? So people are really triggered and offended by a lot of this, the ego will get very triggered. So, but no, it's not just learning intel and information out there, guys. The healing runs deep. Every single system, every aspect.
Sorry, Jason, you're moving paper and we can't hear Greg.
I've muted. I'm sorry, I thought I muted.
It was really noisy.
I pressed mute.
I was only hearing half.
It's okay. No, it's just that every system, every aspect of this world has been essentially designed to rob from us, to take our energy from us, to open up vortices and portals into us so that, as JC said, they can get in and get out, take from us, make life essentially harder, compile the healing process so that it is multidimensional, it is multi-layered. It's not just learning about all these processes, guys. It's actually stepping into it. It's actually doing the work. Doing the work is not just listening to this show either. It's actually going to Crow 777 and actually implementing this into your daily life. I learned this very early on, that I can't just do shows. I can't just do this. I can't just do that. I can't just show my face, every week. When I'm not doing this, I'm doing the work on me. And I am in full on mode with that right now, because my spirit guides have told me that you've done so much work, but there's still so much left to do. That's why, Harms came in divine timing for me. And it's amazing the transformation that has happened in just 3 days. And I'm going to continue to implement that transformation over time. It's unbelievable, but we cannot just continue to look at things. We actually have to take action. We have to take righteous action. Like, we've studied the hell out of 3D, guys. We all know about this shit now. We know enough. Now, what the hell are we going to do about it to move forward?
That's my whole thing. It's like, enough with the intel. You already know. I was saying to someone today, you already know the world's fucked. Now let's unfuck it. Like, just stop with the, I need intel. I need it. What is happening next? You are giving fuel to that. You are putting energy into the negativity. Take it away. So this is what alchemy is about. Spiritual alchemy is about. It's about transmuting energy. It's not about turning, they weren't greedy little people trying to turn. This was all a metaphor, about turning lead into gold. It's about transmuting the negative and experiencing joy and love and all of those things that everybody always wants.
Just that, because that thing he was saying when he was dressed up all in the finery and the jewelry and everything, what he was trying to say to the elites of France was, if you do this, you won't need to take off the poor people because you'll create an abundance. So it does also mean it's not just metaphorical with the goal, because we're in an abundant universe, and it's just that when you unlock that energy, that abundance, it manifests in whatever way that you need it to manifest, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why he said every time you do one of these exercises, you give back to Mother Earth and you put back the energy of abundance back into humanity. So he said when you do any kind of exercise where you're receiving from the universe, you must always, with an open heart, with a pure heart, and that's how you become an ascended master like Saint Germain. You have a pure heart. You always give thanks and give back energetically. And so this is why, for me, you know, a lot of people say, you've helped me so much, but I believe I receive so much from the audience just in their kindness and their attention. I need to give back. So I generally do that every day. I'm always giving back somehow, and I don't tell people about it, but I do. It's that generosity of heart and that active service to others and the active flow of energy with the universe, that I am abundant. But once you actually practice that, instead of hoarding things, and a lot of us are hoarding stuff because we feel we are poor, whatever you are going to express in this universe, you will get more of, as you know. So that's why I'm saying, don't put your attention on the negative.
I completely live that way, but something just popped into my head because I did that video yesterday about just stop running your life in the hope that your XRP is going to go up tomorrow, or the quantum financial system is going to come in on a horse and save you.
Yeah,
and that was a really pertinent message, I thought, and me and JC spoke about it earlier yesterday, and I felt this very strong need to come out and just say this, because it's about, as you said, about taking action. What you've just described as well is what I've just been teaching in my course, which is the law of reciprocity. You have to reciprocate, and when you do, amazing things happen.
Yes.
But I got a message last night from a person that I've got to know over the last year on Facebook. She's a lovely woman, and she was going, well, I just watched your video, but I've been for this job. I've been turned out. I'm running out of money for my rent. What am I supposed to do now? And I look, with love, I said, well, blah, 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 blah. You need to look in the mirror, because it's down to, I didn't mean in a harsh way. I just meant it's each of us are on this individual journey, and a lot of us don't even know how negative we're being. You know, I was speaking to someone this morning who was going, I'm going off on holiday next week, but the weather's looking shit, and the weather's always shit when I go on holiday. And I had to butt my lip, because I was like, well, it never is when I go. Whenever I go, it's bursting with sunshine. But you don't want to say that, because you don't want to rub anybody's nose in it either, you know? So
well, people have to stop blaming the world for their problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
We played a massive role in creating all of this mess, because we complied, we consented, we gave in, we essentially bent over, and we took it time and again. You know, I hate to give that label, but hey, we did. We did, and we cannot blame the world for our problems anymore. That is why I stepped away out of that victimhood a long time ago, and I've been creating and manifesting my own prosperity and abundance on the outside, so therefore I can share that with others. You know, it's that reciprocation that you just spoke of, Mark. It's that service to humanity. It's what gives me joy, the ability to be able to help people with their spirituality or their physical conditions, with herbs or with psychic clairvoyance. You know, that gives me joy. That's my true soul purpose. But I am no longer giving that energy. I mean, you still play in the duality, because we all do. You know, it still exists. But I give more of my energy now to a 5D consciousness, to a 5D Christed light existence, in creating and manifesting that abundance on the outside of that, in order to create my world that I choose to live in, and therefore sharing that, you know, with others. You know, that reciprocation, that infinity, you know, the eternal 8. You know, and that's what we have to start doing. You cannot blame the world for your problems anymore. You can't, because how much longer are we going to continue to feed into the external? It doesn't serve us. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, guys. And the external narratives only serve those that create them. It doesn't serve anyone else. Observe it. I observe it. I see it for what it is. And that's it. Walk away. You know, it's nice to hear information and gain all this intel and whatever, but, you know, eventually, and it's coming real soon, guys, the intel is going to dry up and it's no longer going to stick. In fact, it hasn't stuck from the very beginning. Nothing has happened in the way that people have said it was going to happen. And I can guarantee you there's going to be more twists and turns as we go along this story. There's going to be a lot more. So buckle up for that. No expectations, no attachments. Start working on yourself. Your story is the one that matters. This is what God's waiting for, guys. He's waiting for you to write your own story. You're the ink and the pen, for God's sakes. Start writing your story. Stop worrying about the stories on the outside. They don't serve you. And if the external doesn't serve you, well, you only got you left. So go within. Start creating and manifesting that abundance on the outside. Step out of it and step into you. That's what God is waiting for. That's why this is taking so long. It's a reflection of us. That's why nothing happened on the 20th. That's why nothing happened on all the dates that they have thrown out there. It's a reflection of us. We're not ready. As within, so as above, so below.
So it's only the only important moment is now. That's what I said in my coffee talk on Sunday. It was just like, you've got to live in the now and then and hold everything lightly. The other thing is, one thing that I've been doing again, which I used to do years ago, like 15 years ago, I used to do this exercise. And I know Tony Robbins is so, like, people just go, oh my God, he's so commercial. But honestly, you go back and find some of his old stuff, right? He used to have this gratitude morning ritual that you could do. And as you're walking and exercising, you do this ritual, and it's about creating this spiral of gratitude. And you start with yourself, what you're grateful for, you spiral out to your family, your kids, your partner, and just start thinking about all the things you're grateful for. And before you know it, your entire energy has changed. But that in itself, so instead of opening your phone in the morning and flicking through all the fear porn that you got and all your little social media channels and things like that, you've got to shift that energy, because you're feeding into the spell that we're all under, and we really have ourselves to blame. And that's one of the things that Fortune Germain was saying in this interview. He was talking about how energies work, because he knows he's been practicing alchemy for all these decades, and he knows about the power of where we're putting our focus and how we could transmute these energies. And we've got ourselves to blame. And he said there's no way to tell how long this will go. As long as people keep putting their energy into it, it will continue. This is why it hasn't ended. Because and I know you're like this, Mark, and you, Greg, I swear, when I was listening to this man talk, I was like, well, I am hell-bent on helping as many thousands and thousands of people to really shift their focus away from this negativity and to empower themselves. I say in my Telegram group and all other social media groups all the time, whenever someone posts something shit, I go, is this empowering? Is this empowering or disempowering? Is this thing that we're about to watch, this link that you've shared, is it empowering or is it disempowering? Is it going to make you feel yucky and horrible, like you've just been punched in the stomach when you see it? Are you going to feel despair and anger? Are you going to feel fear? Don't share it in this group, okay? Because what are we trying to do? We're trying to manifest. We're trying to move away from giving the power to the dark, and we're trying to manifest the positivity. And it's not about being blinded or being blind to negativity and living in la la land. It's about the power of manifestation.
Yeah. No, I agree. And look, it's okay to observe the external narratives. Yeah. They're there for observation. It's okay to go play in the mud for a while. I'm a country boy. I like getting dirty and muddy. It's okay, but make sure that you clean yourself off afterwards and keep your head above water. Don't go into the mud. Don't go into the quicksand and not come back. You know, it's one thing to go down a rabbit hole, but to get stuck there, it's just a constant adrenal response in the physical body. It's not good, guys. It's just not good. We have to step away from all of this. That's why it's continuing. It's not going to stop until we all say no. it won't stop until we all say no. We keep feeding it. It is a spell, and it keeps growing the more and more we feed it. That's why there's also this split going on as well too. There's those that are just like neck deep in it, and then there's others that are coming out of it. That's why we have the separation of the wheat from the chaff right now. That's why we have this major split. That's why we have those that took the Kool-Aid and those that haven't, those that wear masks and those that don't. Those that participate, those that watch the MSM and those that don't, those that participate in polite society and those that have created their own. That's why we have this split, guys, because we have people that are feeding into one of the other narratives. That's the whole point of ascension. We all eventually come into one narrative, into one path. That's the middle path. That's the path of Christ. That's what we're all striving to do on a daily basis. So it's not going to stop until you stop feeding it. We've all done this. We've all created this. We fed the beast. I'm sorry, we have. I know it sucks to hear it, but we've all played a role.
Reason. No.
Just say no.
You're muted.
You're muted, buddy. Oh.
There was this show in the 80s in England called Grange Hill. It was like you come home from the prison that was school and then go and watch a show about the prison that is school, right? And it would be like all this, and that was Zamo at the beginning there, this character who became a heroin addict at the age of 14, right? And then the cast and crew brought out this song called Just Say No, No, Just Say No. And it was a massive hit. And then I think Reagan used it in this anti-drugs campaign. And the crew, the cast got invited over to the White House in America. And when they were there, one of the actors snuck in some drugs to the White House. This is a joke. I don't know why I know this stuff, but backing up what.
So this is the British version of Degrassi High. Great, do you remember Degrassi High? Canadian hit. You don't remember Degrassi High? Are you too young? Greg, how old are you? Oh no,
34.
I'm showing my age. Oh God, you won't remember. There used to be Degrassi High. It's a Canadian. It sounds exactly like Grange Hill. Anyway.
But this is what I do. I diffuse things with things that pop into my head. What you said, Greg, was 100% right. And as you were saying it, I was thinking, what I'm seeing with people is, I just wish this movie was over. I'm so fed up. I'm so tired. And what that is the energy dissipate. It is dissipating, and it's getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And that's what I'm feeling, because I'm feeling stronger and stronger and stronger. Multidimensionally, not just, and I've had help, but doing the work has been enormously powerful. And it's actually quite easy. I want to mention the fact that it is actually quite easy to just sit. I mean, I used to think the idea of meditating was crazy and difficult. Hi, Harms. This is Harms's mug, by the way, everybody. Harms is an amazing healer. We all love her.
Yes, we love her. I'm going to get a mug, Harms.
Yeah. Hang on, she sent one to me free. Did she not send you one? Oh, well.
Nah.
But it is actually easy to just sit down and meditate, right?
Yeah.
And the pineal gland, if it's not working immediately, it will. And when it works, when it really works, it's like, whoa.
Can I give 2 tips for people if you're going to listen to? So I'm intending to write meditations anyway, but something I've learned from Fortune Germain. So this is Saint Germain's. If you came late to the chat, Saint Germain's many great grand nephews. 2 concepts that he stressed in each exercise that he gave is spiritual alchemy, and these are visualizations that you do in order to transmute energy. Okay, so this was very interesting because this reminds me of the ruby slippers. Everything made sense in my healing that I got today because I saw these jewels being given back to me. And I was like, this all makes sense. Right. So if you just understand this concept, so red, so if you imagine red or the root chakra, the color red, breathing that up through your feet, up through the root chakra, that is the divine feminine, okay? And violet coming through the crown chakra is the divine masculine. And if you imagine breathing in red and violet, and then it comes into your heart and the colors swirl in your heart, that's the basic concept of most of the transmutation visualizations that he does and he's explaining. And then you've got gold light through your heart. But also he said that the clearing the sacral, the solar plexus, gold, so that's yellow, is very, very important, and doing that every day and just clearing that out every day, especially after you've seen a lot of fear or a lot of negativity, making sure that that's clear. So when you close your mind's eye, when you close your eyes and you focus in your energy onto that part of your body, whether it's your heart or wherever. So you're going to focus in on your stomach, where your solar plexus is, and see in your mind's eye what color is it. Now, if your first thought is that all you can see is black or grey, or you could see a bit of yellow but there's black around it, then that needs clearing up. Okay, so you've got to visualize breathing and clearing that and putting joy into it. So that's the whole purpose, is that he explains all of this to you. So I just wanted to give that to the people. But that's the episode 352 of Crow 777. Yeah, 352. And if you go there, you'll be able, and just take notes and subscribe so that you can get all of it. And then you'll understand what I'm talking about. But all of this is very, very imperative visualization techniques that everyone can use. And it's alchemy that's been passed down from one of the most famous alchemists in the world.
Yeah. Talking of alchemy, before we decided to do this show with you, I was going to do this show with Greg, and I was going to ask, one of the questions I was going to ask Greg was, how's it going, mate? Have you written a poem recently that you'd like to share with us?
I actually have.
Who wants a Greg poem? I do.
Well, this one is a bit deep. This was all part of my healing process over the past couple of weeks, and officially letting go of family ties, at least in this existence. That form of toxicity cannot go with me. So, but it was the realization of that toxic family environment that I grew up in was actually one of my greatest teachers. And it's what made me the man that I am today. So, yeah. Okay. Mother, you are my greatest teacher. You were chosen to be the preacher of love that wasn't there. The care you just couldn't spare. Neglecting the truth of my existence. Persistence, persistence, persistence. Our bond was slighted. It never truly grew. It was filled with tension, glowing a depressive hue. Through the spans of time, I began to learn the internal lessons that made me yearn for something greater, something sweeter, a love, an existence that wasn't a cheater. As the walls of containment began to break, I began to see all that was at stake. My life, my truth, my mission. It would be held in submission if I didn't learn to seek beyond your walls. I would be destined to walk the dark halls. Your version of love, honor, and respect, it wasn't conducive to life. It was just an aspect. It was a constructed version of all you knew. I feel blessed to know this, as very few do. You tried your hardest, and you did your very best. I'm grateful for all you put in my treasure chest. For it wasn't trinkets of gold and precious jewels. It was lessons designed to reverse the fool's notion that love is just a silly emotion, that love is just some magical potion to be obtained only when worthy, to make you feel topsy-turvy. No, love is greater than that. Not silly, not just an emotion. That's a fact. I came to you when you couldn't. I gave to you when you wouldn't. You took from me when you shouldn't. Lessons learned, badges earned. You taught me to seek. You taught me to find, to rectify all that had me in a bind. It was that version of love that broke me free and led to golden shores and a majestic sea of truth, of honor, respect, and prosperity. The self-evolution was at hand. The soul snapping forward like a rubber band. Mother, you were my greatest teacher. Thank you for being the preacher. I expanded, I grew. I have done the mission of very few, finding love within and without, no shadow of a doubt. You ask me who I am, Mother. I am love. Because of you, I am love. Your version inspired me to be the best version. No more perversion. I am love.
Well, all I could think of was alchemy as you were reading that.
Yeah, you're transmuting it. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Greg, you have to listen to that episode because he actually explains how to transmute karma.
Yeah.
So, and he actually explains that you can choose what lessons you partake. All karma is just lessons, and you can either have difficult lessons or easy lessons, and that you can transmute them. So that's what I liked about the spiritual alchemy. But that poem, as you were going through it, it's just, I mean, me as a mother listening to that, I'm just, I think maybe consciously she wasn't aware of what she was doing, but maybe her higher self knew that she was giving you these lessons so that you could get to this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. I feel that. That's why there's no well, there was malice. There was that pain and that trauma, but it's not there anymore. In fact, I don't feel anything when I think of her and my family. It's just holding love and space, for those individuals. But knowing that my journey is my journey, their vision of me is not conducive to me. It's not my vision. At the end of the day, it's you. It's nothing to do with anyone else's vision or what someone else wants for you. We all fail at who we're supposed to be. We all fail at who we're supposed to be. We only obtain true success and prosperity and abundance when we actually embrace who we are. That's where the depth comes in. That's where the growth and the expansion comes in. It's never with who you're supposed to be, because who you're supposed to be is an energetic tie to someone else's feelings, someone else's view, and someone else's emotions for you. It's not what, and look, there's no judgment or shame on parents that want certain things for their kids. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. It's simply, as me as an individual, I had to stop being who I was supposed to be, based upon someone else's view and emotion and their clinging energy to me. Like, you know, because a lot of people like to try and steer someone else's ship. It's not your ship to steer. It's mine. Thank you very much. I'll take the mast. I'll take the steering wheel. I'm good. You know, I don't need you anymore. That's essentially what it is. And that's unconditional love too, guys. That's another form of unconditional love. It's telling that person, I love you, but I don't need you. I can do this on my own. You know? And that's that release. That's that breaking free from all of that. You know, and
cue the Sting song, Mark.
Hey, I was going to do that.
I know, I could read your mind.
I don't want to ruin the moment, you know.
Oh, sorry.
Set them free. I can do it. Sting, I'm here.
Put it on.
Free. No, we'll get a copyright strike. I don't
Oh,
want that.
yeah.
I've got enough
You know that song, Greg? You know that
Yes,
song
I
by
do.
Sting?
my Sting
If
set.
you love someone,
Yep.
set them free.
Yes.
Never understood it until recently.
Well, you know, I honestly, that song, I remember when it came out, and I was like, why would you set someone free if you love them?
Yeah.
Well, it's because
Like,
we've
I
been
want to give
taught,
me all the time. You know?
yeah, well, it's because we've been taught that love is this clingy, needy, you know, dig your fingernails into someone, you know, type of energy, and it's not like that at all.
It's not. You've got to hold it lightly.
Yeah.
In fact, if you love, the most loving thing you could ever do is allow someone to be themselves on their journey and just be there to hold them lightly and just allow them to be. That's the most loving thing you can do.
And I have been guilty of the opposite, and
I think everyone has.
Everyone else, I have.
and I have to, you know, and I look back and I'm like, oh God. But I think I mentioned this on my show the other day, but I have this analogy with flying, which are called white knuckle syndrome, which is when you grab the stick so tight, the aircraft is all over the place, and when you're learning to fly, you learn to just very gently just guide it and go with.
You just hold the knob.
Just hold. You had to do that.
Hold the knob.
Whole hour.
Hold the knob.
You did well. You did well. 1 hour, 2 minutes. That's a record.
I've got to go get my cucumber. Can I get the giant cucumber?
I'm going to go change the title of this video to a world record breaking JCK. Doesn't mention at least 62.
Oh, I wrote. Oh, I
was waiting for that.
So you hold the knob like that.
She's always got a knob
lightly.
drop near her. How does she do it?
It's my mortar and pestle.
I'm looking around for one now.
I had a beautiful email from a lady who said, JC, I just love your show. I love you so much. You did the best Long Island accent. I love everything you do except for the sex stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. She said, I just, 70 and I just can't do the sex stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry.
Just do what my kids do when there's a movie on and there's a naughty scene. I just
You
can watch it now.
Earmuffs, blinders.
Don't say the word muff in front of JC. Haven't you learned anything?
You picked it out, I didn't.
No, I know. I put it in before you did. By the way, I've got some camphor. Did I show you the camphor?
Yes.
Yeah, I ordered some too.
So, yeah, you know,
I was thinking of putting in everyone's mailbox in my.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I saw an amazing video on Telegram the other day. Just what woman saying, when I was a kid, my granny used to put camphor in a cotton thing around my neck whenever we were ill, and we were not ill. And then I was like, I vaguely remember this. So I went online, and it just arrived just before we started the show, and it's a great smell.
It doesn't smell like Bengay.
Bengay?
Do you know that?
Bengay?
It doesn't smell like being...
Degarub. I don't know what you call it in England. It's the joints, when you got stiff joints in you. Denkarub.
Arnica?
No, we don't do that sort of thing in
it's
Ireland.
usually got camphor in it.
Okay, right.
It's like a menthol. It's got a menthol sort of.
Oh no, I know what you mean. Yeah, it is like that.
Yeah, like the muscle thing that when you got sore muscles and cramps and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Camphor. Yeah.
camphor, which is cool.
So apparently you wear it on your
Just wear it here.
on your person, and then the
Like Vicks Vapor Rub. That's what it reminds you of.
yes, like
Yes.
Vicks.
Get the Vicks in the hot water and the towel over the head. You see the top of my balls?
Camphor.
See that? This is laughing. You get all these expensive hair grow back things upstairs. I'm so middle-aged cliche. It's ridiculous.
Don't worry about that.
Oh, Jesus. So, well, what a show. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, let's just, you know what? I should just mask up in every episode because then no one will see my expressions and know what's going on in my head if I don't have a poker face.
Never apologize to nobody for nothing. That's why I say it.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a poker face, it's an honest one. So therefore,
yeah, actually, I gotta tell you, I always win at poker, which is pretty crazy. Always.
Yeah, me too, actually. Yeah.
No, but see, I don't have a poker face, so I'll sit there and because everyone thinks like I don't lie.
What's she doing? What's that face mean? What's that? They're all double guessing.
Yeah, and I go.
I can't hold a poker face, guys. I start laughing when I get a good hand. I start laughing.
I go like this.
I'm gonna win, and I just start giggling.
I pretend I don't have good cards, but then I do this thing where I go, just pretend you do have good cards, but you don't have good cards. So then it's like this weird triple, and then people can't work out where, hang on, maybe she's pretending she's got good cards, but she's really got bad cards, but really she's got, yeah.
When we're in 5D and stuff, if Vegas is still there, we should go for a weekend to see.
Yeah.
Oh, we could go to doesn't Atlantic City have some? We can go visit Greg. You go New Jersey, yeah.
Yeah, Atlantic City is when they clean it up. When we get it's all cleaned up and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
I'd much rather be in Vegas than Atlantic City. I'll just be honest with you right now.
Yeah. Well, I don't actually gamble, so.
No.
I don't do anything.
No.
I seriously don't do anything except drink coffee. That's the only thing I do that's kind of bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. We have to call it quits now. Got
107.
107.
107. I have children duties. So thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for coming, JC. Thanks, Galactic. Mr.
Absolutely.
Greg, it's just fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for that stuff. Amazing stuff. Thanks, everybody. Have a lovely, lovely day. Have an amazing day. Manifest the future.
Yes. Manifest. Create, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.